Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. The next principle, brothers and sisters, is something which is difficult to implement, nonetheless very important. And that is to control anger regarding oneself, but to exhibit it when the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are violated. Anger is something that many of us go through. Some of us are naturally patient and others of us can be hot-headed. But we all go through bouts of anger at certain times. But one thing which is clear is that anger can be destructive if it is not managed and contained. The Prophet ﷺ would say to some of the Sahaba, "La taghdab, do not be angry." But we also know that Aisha radiallahu anha, she said about the Prophet ﷺ that he would not get angry regarding a personal grievance, but he would become angry when the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala were transgressed. And so we see a methodology to the anger that the Prophet ﷺ would sometimes show. And two things from this hadith to conclude. Number one is that the anger of the Prophet ﷺ, he would actually become angry sometimes. It wasn't that he had no anger, but he did it for a reason which was correct and for a wisdom which was correct. His default was that he would be patient. His default that he would be forbearing. However, when he had to be angry, he would be. And this is something that we need to take on board. But the second point, which is actually just as important, is that to subdue anger in its entirety is not the goal. We are actually meant to sometimes become angry. We see that, for example, to protect the oppressed, or to fight against those who are attacking others, or to establish justice, anger is actually needed to an extent, but it has to be controlled. And that's why Imam al-Ghazali, rahimahullah, he likens anger to a hunting dog, in that he says that it's led by the intellect and by the sharia, by the sacred law. And the same way a hunting dog is, it composes itself when things are around it, it knows how to be, but when it sees its prey, in order to reach an objective, it will go for that and it will stick to that. And that's how anger should be, is that we direct it at the time when it is needed for the sake of Allah, and outside of that particular time we should show forbearance and patience. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He gives us the correct understanding of anger. Jazakumullah khair, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha ant, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik.